Welcome to BJQ Radio and TV, Star of the Morning, Faith, Hope, and Charity. And my name is Donna. I wanted to come on today to present inspiration of faith, hope, and charity. And that is based on 1 Corinthians 13, verse 13. And to sum that up, it says, faith, hope, and charity in the greatest is charity. So when we think about the situations in our world today, and I want to touch on topics that I have talking to or speak to in the past on the radio platform of BJQ, and that is one of discrimination. So I want to focus on what we can do as minority in our community or in this country, that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And in spite of all that we have to endure and all that we have gone through with not being able to get justice in terms of our employment and the laws or the policies that go against our ability to earn or rights to earn, that faith is greater than those policy, those laws. And I know that it's the interpretation of the law that is causing this discrimination. So they're employers that create policies that, although the law says that everyone is entitled to equal employment, that discrimination is not allowed, yet the policies created by many of these outlets, these companies, target people of color and allow discrimination. For example, the DNR policies that nurses and doctors of color have had to deal with is one such example. But remember that our faith in God is going to allow us to get our justice. We cannot stop pounding at and chipping away at the wrong that they're trying to make right. Love will expose everything. And I mean, those who see what is happening to our Black professionals, we are calling on everyone to step up and to speak out against the DNR policies in your workplace. Professionals should not have to deal with such policies. Why? Because professionals have a board already in charge of their profession. We do not expect a job to create additional policies when those who are not on or not those who are not, or those areas of work that do not have a head over their profession, do not face these additional policies that are created. Okay, the DNR policy is specific to nurses and doctors or people who serve the public. And one of the strengths in this is that people are being told that these policies are necessary to protect them, and that is far from the truth. The Board of Nursing, for example, does audit their nurses. Nurses have to study and have to pass an exam given by the Board of Nursing. If a hospital finds that a nurse has done something, that hospital has a right to report that nurse to the board. So, if you are a hospital and you have created policies to target nurses, that is discrimination. The DNR list is discriminatory. DNR is meant by do not return. It's sometimes referred to as do not send. And what happened is, when a nurse is not being hired, mainly because she's being discriminated in almost 100% of the cases, the nurse has no other choice but to seek employment through an alternate source, and that is usually an agency. Hospitals give agencies the right to staff their hospitals. Nurses find themselves, and majority of these nurses are Black nurses, because we are not employed. We're not employed directly by the hospitals. And what the hospital has done is they have now, with the JCO, which is an entity that certifies hospitals, they have created another hindrance to healthcare workers who want to work in a hospital. And I believe that is unfair and it is discrimination. I want to call out all hospitals that are utilizing the do not return list to implicate Black nurses or Black doctors from working in your hospitals. You have chosen to bypass these individuals and refrain from hiring them, that they have had to go through staffing agencies just to earn a living. And therefore, it is atrocious. It is wrong to create policies to target nurses and doctors that go through the staffing agencies. And so, because of that, hospitals have created a means or a way to target those who are going through the staffing agencies to work. They have come up with this policy, the do not return list. And what they do is, so they have their charge nurses or their lead person who works in every department, and they keep an eye on those coming through the staffing agency. And even if there is nothing to report, they usually come up with something to report just to target the person who is going through the staffing agency to earn a living. And we find that they have implicated almost everyone through the staffing agency that is of African descent to be blocked and not to return. And that's why we have the do not return list. Now, doctors and nurses are some of the main people that give healthcare, that administer treatment to the public. When you don't have qualified, experienced people in your hospital, you will have the outcome of what happened during COVID. Mass deaths. Why? Because there is no experienced people or personnel working at the bedside to take care of your loved ones. And so I have to call on our community, on patients, on those who work in the healthcare system to support us. Because all we need is to present our case in the court of law. And right now, it is hard for us because if we don't have income, we are not able to litigate. We have found it very difficult to find any lawyer who wants to take this on. This is a case that can be litigated if we have funding. And so I'm asking, if you are under the sound of my voice, I'm calling on you to reach out to me at dmfnursingregistry@gmail.com. Send me an email saying that you want to support us. Also, I'm calling on everyone who is under the sound of my voice, who wants to assist us with funding. There are nurses right now that are homeless. There are nurses who don't have a vehicle because they have no work. And if things continue the same way, you will have nurses on the street. And these are people who have been educated to earn a living and they do a great job, but they have been targeted. I call on the public to intervene. I call on those of faith to intervene. If you have love one for another, then we will succeed. We will get rid of this DNR list in healthcare. We need to. We already have the Board of Medicine and the Board of Nursing that is in charge of professional doctors and nurses. And in no way should we have a third entity that restricts us, irregardless of the fact that we're doing such a great job that would create falsify records just to target us from not being able to earn a living. And I want to end this by saying, it is our faith that is going to help us to rise up against these adversaries. It is our faith that's going to allow us to overcome as Christ overcame. So is 1 Corinthians 13 verse 13. Now abideth faith, hope, and charity, but the greatest is charity. Let love reign. Let love reign. Reach out to us today. Even you can reach out to the station, BJQ Radio and Television of the Morning Star. Let us hear from you. Thank you.